called to a job one time where a fellow was quite delusional. He was having auditory and visual hallucinations. He was just hearing voices and seeing things. And he was quite adamant that whilst he was on the toilet, Zolan, a 14th century mystic, had entered his body and had traveled up his spinal column into his brain. And
Right.
he had a large hunting knife that he held in front of his eye because he was going to send the knife in to kill Zolan, who had occupied his brain. And we were talking to him and we were keeping our safe distance to try to convince this guy to sort of put the knife down. And he was just so adamant that Zolan was talking to him. And then it came to the point where there was another planet on the other side of the sun that we couldn't see that was occupied by reptilian type people. And Zolan was telling him all this. And eventually we were sort of trying to get the knife or convince him to put the knife down, but he had access to some caustic soda. So he started drinking that. So we made a quick inquiry, what's going to happen if he drinks caustic soda? Will it kill him? And the suggestion was it probably wouldn't kill him, but it would be eating away at his voice box and the back of his throat and doing him some fairly serious permanent damage. So there was a few jobs like that. Another one, I had a gentleman on the Gateway Bridge. They had
Hang on a
just put,
minute. What was
yeah,
the outcome of that one?
well, we
Don't leave me
eventually,
hanging, Peter.
well, we resolved it, of course.
Oh,
It's as
okay,
simple
good.
as that. Look, it was peacefully resolved, and he got the medical treatment, and he got admitted to the psychiatric ward, which he needed at the time.
And we
So,
lost the inside communication to Zoloft and this planet behind the sun.
yeah, I
Now
must
the
have been
reptilians are all in government.
just about, just about.
He
So,
was
yeah,
warning us.
that's it. It was interesting. Look, and there was one that I didn't have direct knowledge in, but when I was a regional duty officer, we had a call. There was a gentleman who got talked down by the negotiators. I'm not aware of the full details. He was, and I don't want to be critical of anybody, he was admitted for psychiatric
You
assessment.
can be critical. That's fine.
Uh,
Just be critical. Go. It's
He
the
was
internet, Peter. You can say what you want.
he was assessed as not having an issue, apparently, after police intervention, negotiators resolving the situation. He got released from the hospital. He's then hired himself a taxi and he's asked the driver to take him to a certain location, during which time they're traveling over the Gateway Bridge. And he inadvertently opens the window in the cab, and apparently his wallet accidentally left the cab. So he said to the driver, look, I've lost my wallet. You know, got to stop. I can't pay you. So the cab beautifully stopped. He's then hopped out of the cab and then he has jumped over the bridge and died. So again, the role I had as regional duty officer was to get the responding police and the taxi driver into a debrief so that any associated bad feelings and trauma would be minimized for all the participants. So, it sort of made me or reinforced my view that if we have repeat customers, sometimes we can deal with it effectively, and other times it's just there's nothing more we could have done. Which, yeah, it's not ideal, not desirable, and that's why I think the negotiators try so hard to resolve the situation peacefully. And again, you know, a lot of people, not a lot, some people, and even something that I've said in the past, I said, look, the person that I'm talking to is in crisis, they're threatening suicide, and I say, look, let's resolve this, come down with me, we'll work together in the directions that you think will be most helpful for you. But I said, with all due respect, and this is no secret, if you decide in a week or a month or 6 months or a year that your life is still so painful, I'm not going to be following you. I'm not going to be able to stop you at some future time. That is your decision to make. And hopefully we can get you in the right direction so it doesn't become a necessity in the future. But I mean, that to me, that's just objective truth that I'm sharing with that. And I think it goes towards keeping things credible in the relationship and the honesty of the rapport that you have with that person, because they understand that they can do whatever they like in a week or a month's time down the track, should they choose to. And look, it probably isn't the approach that every negotiator would use, but at the end of the day, it worked for me. And hey, the bosses didn't yell at me too loud, so it worked out okay.